apocalypse.
Hello.
Ooh, mute yourself
Everybody.
on OBS Ninja, dude. You forgot to do that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Jeez. That was a
That sounded
double
awful.
echo.
Alrighty. Am I far enough left here?
Yep.
Yes, we are. All right. Let's get into it. Pat, how's your week been?
It's hot. It's really hot.
Hot as... What's a clean word that I can use?
Hot as your cookie
Very,
basket?
very hot. Huh?
Hot as your cookie basket?
Yes. It is very moist and very humid here on the East Coast.
Very moist.
And that might even be an understatement. Pat, what are we going to get into today?
We have a bunch of different topics today. NHL is a big one because we've had some big trades. We have the expansion draft coming up on Wednesday, right? Wednesday. So we got the expansion draft and some big trades and some big names coming up in the NHL. We also have the NBA playoffs, which I thought they would be close to done, but right now the series is tied, so there's some conversation going on there. And then we also have a little bit in the MLB and a little bit of the Gold Cup. And today, altogether, we are skipping NFL because nothing has really happened this past week in the NFL, other than the fact that training camp's coming up in 2 weeks, 1 week, 2.
Yeah, they're gonna get started relatively soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So while John keeps doing an intro, I'm gonna put all of our commands in here. So we got Discord.
Yeah,
Twit.
we want to hear from you. We want you to join our Discord channel. As Patrick puts that in our chat. We want to grow a community, and this is our best way of doing that. And we want to connect with all of you.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so I got all the chats in there.
All right, sweet. So, we are going to start off with the expansion draft. Or no, locks of the week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where are you going, bro?
Because I think we both had a pretty strong week, if I recall correctly.
We both did have a pretty strong week, and just make sure it comes up properly, which it did. So I had a perfect week this week. So I got 3 points this week, and John got 2 points. So John was the only one that got one wrong, because the Suns are awful.
I think this is our first perfect week for you.
This
ever.
Is our first perfect week in general.
Yeah.
Because even going back to last month, which I'm going to real quick. Yeah, last month you didn't have a perfect week either. You only had 2 points. So, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I definitely thought the Suns were gonna lose Game 3. I did not see them losing Game 4, and we'll get into that series a little bit later. But
yes,
I just I thought that they would win in 5, but
as everybody
can
see,
do it in 6.
As everybody can see in the overall, I'm up by 1 point right now. I completely forgot to post that picture on Twitter of you buying me that milkshake, but it is done. John lost. He paid up fair and square, and he bought me a milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
Waited in line forever in Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, because for some odd reason,
got it done.
For some odd reason, John decided to do drive-through pickup instead of curbside pickup. But to each their own.
Still trying to get.
Yeah, to each their own. So that is our locks recap. Hey, there's your
Sweet.
face.
There it is. Alrighty. So now we're gonna get into the expansion draft, and we're gonna start off with the NHL because that is the most relevant topic I know today. With you know a lot of trades going down before the freeze of
Yeah,
the
I was surprised to see.
transaction freeze
I was
at three
surprised.
o'clock today.
Yeah, I was surprised to see all those transactions. To be honest with you,
Yeah, they happened
I
relatively quickly at the deadline.
yeah, something that surprised me as well was Las Vegas was involved in two three-way trades.
Yeah, I mean, I know, just from being closer to Philadelphia, that the Flyers GM, he said that not a lot of people wanted to, uh, you know, do a trade before the expansion draft. They wanted to see who they would lose, who they would keep, honestly, and then you would see a lot of action afterward, in the coming weeks. But obviously, we were wrong, and you know, you got a little bit of action. We're gonna go into the expansion draft rules because I know they can be a little tricky. Um, so right now, each team has to give players up, and they have a certain amount that they can protect and keep on their roster, and then the rest they have to go into the pool, where then the Seattle Kraken can then choose from every player that is within that pool from the league, and then they kind of create that into one team. So let's see. All players who have completed an entry level contract, in most cases, meaning that they've completed at least 3 professional seasons, are potentially eligible. And depending on their contract status and health, all teams must expose one defenseman who is under contract next year and has played at least 40 games, who played in 40 games last season. Um, all NHL teams must expose 2 forwards who have played at least 40 games and 1 goalie. Um, there are, a bunch of hard and tough decisions. Like I know, Carey Price is one of them. He actually waived his no movement clause, and he is going to be eligible for the draft. And if I was the Seattle Kraken, I would snatch him up real fast. I
I
would not even.
I absolutely would too.
I
Just like
wouldn't mess around. I would go win the go make the playoffs first year, like the Las Vegas Knights did.
yeah, just yeah, the Knights with Marc Andre Fleury, yeah, and look what happened with them. Marc Andre Fleury was one of the main reasons why they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year.
Yeah.
Carter Hart? Yeah, no, the Flyers are not giving up Carter Hart. I can tell you that for a
Oh
fact.
wow, he made a twitch.
Oh, that's your dad. What's going on, Mr. Pop?
Wow.
I didn't even read the name at first. Oh, that's
It's not
funny.
like he could hear me from the other room.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny.
yeah, no, Carter Hart, depending whatever happened last season, scratch it. Scratch it. He's staying. Um, let's see. What other rules? Yeah, so
I need
depending
my
on their
brain.
contract, top players can have a no movement clause, which means that they're not eligible for the expansion draft, even if the team wants them to. The player would have to agree, like the Carey Price situation. Patrick, do you have any key players that you would like the Seattle Kraken to take?
I mean, I'm the only name I really know right off the bat is Jake Voracek, mostly because I pay attention to Philadelphia Flyers because I'm from Philadelphia. So I want to see the Kraken take Jake Voracek. Um, but I'm Carey Price would be a good one. I'm trying to think of some other players because
It
now
looks
this.
like Ben Bishop from the Dallas Stars is eligible.
Oh, really?
Hmm
I would still take Price over Bishop, but that Bishop's definitely not a bad second choice if they wanted somebody else from the Canadians. Um, there's the yawn.
All right, I had a long day.
Stop hiding it.
I had a long day, all right?
Um, yeah. Do you know anybody else that's really eligible from any other teams?
I don't think that the lists have been released yet, like, officially.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a feeling that we're gonna have to do a Wednesday stream with this expansion draft if you have time.
yeah, we can figure that out. Um, but, I mean, teams have to get rid of, it looks like they can protect 1, 2, 3, looks like 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. They can so that's what? 7, 3, 11 players that they can protect fully. Um, and then,
Okay.
they would have to get rid of I don't think that they would have to get rid of the rest because, like I said before, it would be they have to have their entry level, contract on.
Yeah. Um,
So
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sorry. Now that I'm thinking about it though, the Buffalo Sabres, both Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart, both of them want to be traded. I do know that.
right,
Dude,
right.
get a milkshake.
Ah,
I know both of them
whatever.
would want to be traded, so one of those two would be huge for the Kraken to pick up because that's a offensive stud right there. Um, I mean, like defense wise, if Zdeno Chara's going back into, I don't know how many years he signed with the Capitals, but if the Capitals aren't protecting him, that would be a good starting defenseman for the Kraken there. Like it all just with the list not being out yet, I can't really say who I think would be good picks for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I can say one person would be a good pick for them, but then they're protected. So it's like, what's the point of that?
Okay, so I'm looking at an article from ESPN. So a couple years ago, the Vegas Golden Knights had the expansion draft, and they didn't really have one, and I don't really know how many years, but it's been a while. Um, but
Well, I lost my
for
pen
this one,
already.
they did a little rules change. Um, so let's see.
I lost my pen already.
You just grabbed it.
Oh, there it is.
So let's see. They have the same positional and salary cap roster requirements. The other 30 teams in the expansion draft have the same protection limitations that could hand over the 8th best forward, 4th best defenseman, and 2nd best goalie to the Kraken. So it looks like yeah, so you're choosing your top 7 forwards, your top 3 defensemen, and your top goalie to all protect, and then the rest of it looks to be eligible. um,
Okay. Well, I'll still be able to make better decisions once the notes actually come out. And then
yeah,
like on Twitter or something, you we can kind of like post what we
yeah.
think our teams are because I think the list goes public tomorrow night, either tonight or tomorrow night
Yeah,
at some
so
point.
one interesting note that I see right here is that the Golden Knights are exempt from the expansion draft, which makes sense now that I'm reading it.
Really?
Because yeah,
They've been a team for
um,
5 years now, though.
so it says do not have to give up a player in the expansion draft. The deal owner Bill Foley struck with the NHL in their original franchise agreement in 2016. The only down because I'm sure that they saw this coming. The only so Seattle had to pay a $650 million expansion fee, which would then be $21.67 million that go to each team. That's the only downfall. So Bill Foley, the owner for the Vegas Knights, would not get that money, but he also doesn't lose his quality players. He gets to keep his entire roster. Um, which I mean, if you're an owner, you already have enough money to begin with.
All right, so in the comments, I also see JVR with a question mark. What are you exactly asking, Mr. Pat?
Well, with
Like,
Nolan Patrick traded, that then opens up a spot
oh, we can
for
go into that
Knack.
trade now.
Yeah, for Knack, Nikolai Olbe Kubel, I think, or JVR. Which I think the
Um,
Flyers should keep JVR. I think they're in win now mode, but
yeah, with Nolan Patrick and Philip Myers both being traded, it definitely opens up a spot. Like Ryan Ellis will now probably be in the top spot with Provorov, and then that leaves an open spot in the offensive lineup where now JVR can be protected. Um, so that's actually a good move by Chuck Fletcher, in my opinion.
okay. So, do the Kraken have to take a certain amount of players from each position? Seattle will select one player from each position besides Vegas, with the requirements being that they take at least 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goalies. So they'll choose a minimum of 20 players that are under contract for next season, and ones who have an egregious expansion draft value that is between 60% and 100% of the cap ceiling, which that doesn't really make sense, but um the Kraken are restricted from buying out players such selected in the expansion draft until summer 2022.
Okay.
So from Sunday to July 21st, the Kraken have an exclusive negotiating window with any pending free agents not protected by the other 30 teams. Um,
Oh,
and
so
then they can
basically,
sign that player before free agency begins on July 28th.
okay, that's just what I was going to ask. If they get first
Yeah.
dibs. So it sounds like they get first dibs on free agents, and then they also have the lists that all the teams made for eligible players. So now they get to take the next 4 days to come up with what they think will be the best possible team that they can make out of these
And
players.
they can offer an maximum of an 8-year extension and then only give out 7-year deals after that. Um, let's see. Apparently, TJ Oshie and Tyler Johnson. TJ Oshie plays for the Washington Capitals, and Tyler Johnson's another forward from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And both of them are from the Seattle-ish area. I think, that side of Canada. I know Seattle's in the United States before somebody makes a joke, but
Okay, I was just gonna make fun of you big time. Be like, hey,
I
it's
know
it's a
that.
little south from Canada, bud.
I know that. But TJ Oshie, I'm pretty sure is no, TJ Oshie's American. Tyler Johnson's American. I don't know. I'm
All
trying to
right,
figure out anything else from this ESPN article.
you want to just go into the trades then?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a trade
Go
list
ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
So we mentioned a little bit before about the Predators trade with the Flyers and the Knights. So the Flyers got Ryan Ellis for, and they gave up to the Predators Nolan Patrick and Philip Myers. But then included with that trade, the Knights actually received Nolan Patrick from the Predators for Cody Glass, which I am actually really surprised by that because I think Cody Glass is a stud of an offensive player. Now, Nolan Patrick has the potential to be, but with his migraine injuries that happens a lot, like, and that actually took him out for a year. I don't know how useful he will really be for the Knights. I mean, I think this will be a good fresh start for him, no doubt. Um, but we will. I mean, this next year coming up, we will see what he does for them, and I'll be keeping a close eye on him, and I'll be
And
keeping a close eye on
yeah.
Cody Glass as well.
Yeah, it says Ryan Ellis has had a couple different injuries over the last few years, and that's kind of what has held him back. And I think it's key that the Flyers did not give up their 13th overall pick, because now they can either use that to move up, move down, or to what I think would very much help is go get Vladimir Tarasenko. I know Patrick loves that idea.
Yeah, I definitely want them to pick up Tarasenko. That would be like that last offensive key we need, and then all we need is just Hart to have a good year again, and the Flyers are right back up there.
Well, I mean, it also helps having better play in front of him. I mean, half of the goals last year weren't his fault, I don't think.
Yeah, but then the other half kind of were. Like he
Well,
let up a
yeah,
lot of
it
easy
wasn't
goals.
it wasn't, his fault
It's not entirely his
mainly.
fault, but I mean, there from what the games that I've watched him play, he let up a lot of easy goals, dude.
I know,
Like
I
for
know.
someone who's supposed to be such an elite player, he let up way too many easy goals. He should like that just shouldn't happen with an elite player. And he even admitted at the end of the season that like it's a whole new mentality for him now. Like since he moved out, now he just kind of like lives by himself. His mentality isn't fully there.
Well, he parted ways with his mental coach before last season started, which could have had an effect.
Yeah, he needs him back.
I'll go drive him to wherever he's at right now.
Yeah, I will too.
Um,
So
what a couple other trades happened today, right?
yeah, so actually over the past couple days, I know the Devils got Ryan Graves from the Colorado Avalanche for Mikhail Maltsev. Yeah, Maltsev and a 2021 second round pick, which actually is not. Uh, I think Colorado won that one pretty good, if I'm being dead honest. And something else that really surprised me as well. Oh, here it is. The Edmonton Oilers got Duncan Keith and Tim Soderland.
Oh yeah, I did see
Yes. Oh,
that.
Soderlund. I'm sorry, from the
I don't know
Chicago
how
Blackhawks.
effective Duncan Keith is anymore.
He's really not. I mean,
Like I don't know how
he'll help.
effective he's old.
Yeah, but for the Oilers defense that they have right now, he'll help. He'll definitely help, but he's still not that effective. Um, but they also got Tim Soderlund from the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks got Caleb Jones and a 2022 third round pick. So I mean, the Blackhawks just made up or just got rid of a lot of salary cap. So now they have room to play with, which
Now,
I think Blackhawks completely took that deal by hand.
if I can go back to the Ryan Ellis deal, I'm reading this guy Rush Joy on Twitter. He's a sports betting editor and he's a Flyers writer and podcast show host, and he says this was 8 minutes ago. The Flyers, food for thought. Chuck Fletcher still has the 13th overall pick. JVR, Voracek, Frost, and prospects, and a number of young NHL caliber players, all of which could be used to acquire some combo of Jack Eichel, Tarasenko, or another defenseman. This thing could turn around quickly. It would be interesting to see what Seattle does or charges for a transactional fee, because then they could possibly send Voracek and a pick for Tarasenko, and then all the assets being absorbed by Seattle somehow, some way.
Okay. Yeah, they'll figure all that out. I'm sure they will. Um, I'm I'm doing my best to try not have this fully like Philadelphia
No, I
right
know.
now. So
No, I
I'm
know.
go-
I was just reading. It's
I'm
just a
gonna
thing that could affect things.
yeah, I'm gonna move on to some other trades as well. One trade that really surprised me, and I'm still really confused on it, is a trade between the Arizona Coyotes and the New York Islanders. So the Arizona Coyotes acquired Andrew Ladd, a 2021 second round pick, a 2022 conditional second round pick, and a 2023 conditional third round pick from the New York Islanders, but it doesn't say anything about the Islanders receiving anything.
Yeah, I saw that. It's weird. It's like they got they traded away a bunch and got nothing.
Yeah. So
So I don't really know what's going on.
and like I'm even reading all these other trades that are around them, and it's not saying anything about the Islanders receiving anything from any other team either. In case that was like another three-way trade, but
Yeah.
I'm just not seeing anything. So it kind of looks like the Islanders just gave up a bunch of, and they're not bad stuff either. Like 3 second round or 2 second round picks and a third round pick. Like you can get some good solid players from them, and they also got rid of a solid player too. I don't know why I'm blanking on his position right now, but like they just got rid of a bunch of good, useful items to the Arizona Coyotes for like no reason. I'm not sure if that was from something that happened earlier this year where Coyotes would receive all that if something happened. But I mean, like, right? It honestly just looks like right now that the Islanders just said, "Here you go, have some good picks and a good player." Like, I don't know how that one worked.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I saw and that we talked about was Pecorine retiring. I think we forgot to put that on our
Oh,
sheet.
yeah, that
I
was
was
one of
just
the
scrolling
credits too.
through our retweets and I found it. And the Nashville Predators put together a great, or I guess, and Pecorine was in on it too because he had his voiceover over it. But it's like a 3 minute 40-second video of him just thanking everybody in Nashville, the Predators, the fans, and the entire city, and it gave me goosebumps. And I don't even, I didn't watch him outside of him playing the Flyers, so I think it's just shit goes to show you how much he meant to that city and how he said a line in there like, we turned Nashville into a hockey city, and I think that's kind of cool and a legacy that could go on forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was a stud of a goalie, and I mean, it's sad to see him go, but he is definitely old, and it is time to see him go. Like wow, that was a lot of lightning. I really hope my power doesn't go out.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, he said in the video that his body says that he can play more years, but I think he's got a kid now and he wants to grow up with him, I think, and be there. So I think that's kind of the tipping point.
Fair enough. Yeah, he he played 15 good years for the Predators. Like you can't
Yeah.
really ask for much more out of him at this point. So he had one hell of a run, and he's definitely going to be remembered by the Predators for a very long time, and possibly even put into the Hall of Fame as well. Definitely into the Predators
Yeah.
Hall of Fame,
Yeah, and
but
there's
possibly even
definitely a
into
good
the hockey,
chance.
possibly into the Hockey Hall of Fame. So in due time, in the next years coming up. So congrats on a
Now,
fantastic
question,
career, Pecorine.
does Hockey Hall of Fame have to wait? Like, I think the NBA have to wait 5 years after you retire. Is there a
I
wait?
I don't know. I know they usually do, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but I'm not 100% sure.
Let's see.
All right, well,
Yeah, I
I am, and I'm not trying to rush you here, but we're already half hour
you
deep.
you move on.
Well, the next one's NBA. And you're the
Oh,
NBA
that's
guy.
fine. All right. Let's go to the let's pull up this score right now. In game 5, you know, the Suns kind of took control in the first two games in Phoenix and whoa. Thunder. But then the series went back to Milwaukee, and it seemed like the Suns kind of just fell off. I mean, they made some uncharacteristic, uh, turnovers. Like Chris Paul, he going into Game 4 or 5, he had 15 turnovers in 3 games. Like that's just not like him at all. He had a turnover in the last 40 seconds of the game when they were trying to tie it or go ahead. That's very uncharacteristic. And I didn't, I thought that the Suns would kind of come out in Game 5 at home and kind of set the world on fire, which they did. But right now, the score is 83-75 Bucks with 6 minutes left in the third. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. But it looks like, we all thought Giannis would be the difference maker in that series, but right now it's been Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton knows how to close games and he can shoot the lights out. And I think that the Bucks, whoa, lights flickered. I think the Bucks know that, and it's something that they have to keep going to until the Suns stop it. And yeah, no, Dario would have made an impact. I know the homie. If I know the homie as well as I think I do, and I know him pretty well, he would. The homie's Dario Saric, by the way, who tore his ACL. Um, yeah,
Um, I'm
he
just I'm just going to give a quick warning with the storm right now in case our power does go out. John and I will be in contact to finish off this podcast sometime tomorrow. So Sunday, July 18th,
somehow.
we will figure out a time to finish this up and put it out on Twitter and in our Discord. Just letting you guys know. But continue.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I just think that the Suns have to come to realization that, yeah, you can you know stop Giannis, but you also have to stop Chris Middleton, and Chris Middleton's the one that's hurting you more than Giannis is. Giannis could put up 40, and it doesn't really mean much when you have to stop the other guys. Um, I think Devin Booker has to step up a little bit, and you know, right now it doesn't look that way, and the Suns better get it together because if they lose this game, I think it's over because then the Bucks go back home, and that is a huge thing to overcome.
Huge advantage for the Bucks,
Yes.
and especially with the Bucks having all that confidence, winning 3 games in a row if they win today. Yeah, that'll definitely be a big hole that the Suns dug for themselves, and they're really gonna have to work hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
But that comes down to working as a team, getting those rebounds and getting less turnovers, and making sure that they shut Giannis down.
I mean, they just got to get the crowd into it. I mean, if they can somehow get a couple stops in a row and get out in transition and run, I mean, we saw it in the first couple games. They're just so quick to, turn the tables and go to the offensive end. And you have to have defense be your offense in the playoffs like this, especially in the finals. You need to put 2 or 3 stops together and go down the other end and score. And then all of a sudden it's a 6-0 run that turns into a 12-0 run, and then that turns into, an 18-4 run. And then all of a sudden you got a pretty good lead. And,
Yeah,
all it takes is a couple stops.
yeah, absolutely.
And the Suns have done that all year. They just need to do it right now.
They just need to
And
do it for 2 more games. 2 more games,
yeah,
and they have it.
yeah, exactly. Um,
So what's the current score to that game again?
that is. I was trying to get the
And how much time's left in what quarter?
box score up. Um, so that is it's still in the third quarter.
Severe
We have
thunderstorm warning.
Thanks. 85-77 Bucks with 15 left in the third quarter.
Okay, so right now the Bucks have that advantage.
There's still plenty of time. You still have a whole another quarter and a half before this game's is over. I mean, I'm looking at the live stream right now. Drew Holiday just got very easy dribble penetration, you just kicked it out to Brook Lopez. I mean, you
Is
have
that
to stop
he's
the
on the
middle.
Bucks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so in basketball, like you can't give up the middle because then they'll just drive and then kick it out to a three-point shooter. And it's kind of a recipe for disaster.
As you
If you
can
just
see
keep
there.
what?
As you can see during that play, where the Bucks
Yeah.
just got another 3 points, right?
Yeah. So now it's 90-81 with 4 minutes left in the third. So, not a lot of defense obviously in this game, but
I mean, in basketball, is there
gonna
really
come
any
down to a
such thing as
couple.
defense with both teams usually having over 100 points each?
Well, they're gonna have to make a couple stops eventually, and we're getting into that crunch time zone. Okay,
Yeah.
you have anything else, Patrick?
For basketball, no, not really.
So we have a question that's kind of overall sports that we put up a poll, I think Tuesday, and we got 8 votes on it, which is okay. And our question was, do we as sports fans put too much pressure on professional athletes not training every day? And the example that I came up with was Ben Simmons, not because, I don't want to see him go, but he was chosen out as he was at Wimbledon um, with, I guess, his new girlfriend. I mean, I don't really know. Uh, but they were there together, and a
That
lot of
definitely looks
people
like it.
went berserk. Yeah. A lot of people went berserk because they're all like, "Oh, he should be in the gym. He should basically never come out of the gym and should never have a life outside of that because, then they're assuming that he doesn't care enough, then he I don't know. They make every excuse why he should be in there and not, you know, give himself a break. It's like if you worked very, very hard for the last what, 5 months or so, and you did it every single day, and you went through the physical what's the word I'm looking for? Physical um wear and tear that, an NBA player does. You're gonna want a break too. I mean, I bet you every player that's done their season, no matter what sport, goes on some sort of vacation for a week, and sometimes don't even pick up a basketball or a baseball for weeks. I know some golfers that when they take 3 weeks off, they don't touch a club until you know 8 days out, 9 days out of the tournament start. So they need a break too, and I think that we do put too much pressure on professional athletes to be like always in the gym or always training because they are people too and they need the rest and kind of just get their mind off of what they do every single day, especially when they're, you know, on social media, on Twitter, and they're in the spotlight all the time.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Like at the end of the day, they're humans. Every human at some point needs a break from whatever hard work you're doing, whether it's working at a restaurant, um, being a professional athlete, even being like a stay-at-home mom or something. Everybody needs that vacation. Well, stay-at-home mom or dad. I gotta clear that up a little bit. Like everybody needs a vacation at some point, and what better time to do it than, well, in Ben Simmons' case, what better time to do it than right after the playoffs? Like you worked hard for as long as you did.
And
You
he was
go,
embarrassed in the playoffs, basically, and he just needs to get away.
yeah. I
It's as
think
simple as
what
that.
I think what comes down for him is people are just really butthurt because one, he didn't play well, and two, he's just throwing his money success in everybody's face by buying a $17.5 million house in LA and then going off to Wimbledon in Europe.
That's
Like
a
he,
pretty sick house, by the way. If
yeah,
you see in the
it
pictures.
it is. I mean, congrats to that dude. But I just think a lot of people are just really butthurt over that because, like, if you really look at it, like he in a he was one of the main reasons why the Sixers lost that series, and then he's just throwing the money that he just made that season in your faces, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm buying this big house now and going on a vacation with a new girlfriend overseas." When it's just when like the wound of the season is still really fresh for us, and it just wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it was good timing for him because what better time than right after all the hard work you just put in, but then it's also bad timing because the wounds are still really fresh after a season that he literally was one of the main reasons that they lost.
He's
For
still on edge.
yeah, like I mean, it's for him, it's a lose lose at that point
Yeah.
where he's not going to make anybody happy no matter what he does because if he goes back into working out right away, he'll make the fans happy, but then he'll be exhausted for when the season comes around. But then um he goes on his vacation, which then makes him happy, but then pisses off everybody else in
I mean, they
Philadelphia.
don't start until September. I mean, it's July. Like, he doesn't really need to start working out until August. Plus, he's pretty much in the best shape of anybody in the NBA. So, like, I think he's okay. And,
Work
I'm sure that he's getting workouts in overseas.
doesn't look like it.
Simmons, 2021 first and 2020. How about uh we make the big three trio? I just think Ben is. I'm still torn about this Ben Dame thing, but I think that we can agree that we do put too much pressure
Yes.
on professional athletes, and our poll says so too, with 75% of the votes say yes and 25% say no. So the people on Twitter have spoken.
Where the majority of the people say yes, we do, but we're still going to do it anyway, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Fair enough.
Patrick, I know you wanted to talk about the MLB All-Star Game, and I know you had a hot take.
I had a hot take. See
Yeah,
you, Ben.
about
Is it bad that I already forgot what my hot take was, and we were probably just talking about this 40 minutes ago?
yeah, it was that you think the MLB All-Star Game is dying.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually think in all sports, all star games are dying because
I
I
think
mean,
I think I can change it to they're all dead. They're not dying, they're dead.
yeah, like I remember watching, especially hockey when I was younger, that all star game and a little bit of baseball every now and then, a little bit of football with the Pro Bowl.
Football's the
But
worst one.
yeah, I mean, it's literally just another football game with
It's
people that
two-hand
don't
tie.
really, yeah, that with people that don't care if they win or lose. But they still have to like try. I just don't understand Pro Bowl. Um, but like the NHL when I was younger, people used to dress up in costumes. They used to tease one another. It used to be all fun and games, like no matter what it was. And now when you go and watch the NHL All Star, nobody's joking around like that anymore. It's like all serious and like yeah, there are a couple laughs here and there, but it's just not entertaining to watch anymore. Like I mean, it's fun to watch like Connor McDavid get 13 seconds around the rink. It's fun to watch um I don't know, someone with quick hands in the skills competition. And then like with MLB, the home run derby, it's fun to watch people every now and then hit or blast like 40 home runs. But I mean, like for
The game
but
itself is awful.
yeah, like just
The
how
skills competition is good, and it gets people engaged. Like the 3-point contest is a big one because everybody just sees like how ridiculous like these players are. Um, and the home run derby is a good one. The speed skating one is very good, or like the hardest shot, the hardest slap shot. Just trying to
seeing
hit it
some
as
of
hard as
those
you can.
numbers, seeing some of those
Yeah,
numbers are insane. Like
it
109
just
miles an
proves to
hour the one
you
year.
it just proves to you that like if you think that you can play, if you can compete with these guys, like
You can't.
you just can't.
You can't.
It's just not possible.
No.
Um, and even like the skills competition now with the NBA, like now that you have people like the MVP that should not have been the MVP, the Nikolai Jokic, he's competing in the skills competition, and it's mainly a competition for smaller guards to show off their skill. But now you have big men actually competing, um, and it's kind of cool to see because he can move just as well as the smaller, faster guards.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna lie. It's very cool looking at some of the skills that these people have, but all of it's just lost the entertainment value for me. There's
Yeah.
no real fun in it anymore. It's it's now like if these guys don't show off how skillful they are, there's no point in having it because it just lost its entertainment value for
I
me.
mean, the NBA All-Star game is like 210 to 205. Like, who wants to sit there and just watch no defense and just people just cherry pick the entire time? Nobody's gonna sit there and waste their time.
Yeah, like
And especially, good.
it's. I was just gonna repeat what I was saying before. It's just not
No.
entertaining to watch anymore. I
Well, like
I don't even pay attention to it
baseball
anymore.
cannot doesn't do a good job of marketing their sport, and they used to do it. I used to like when the All-Star game used to um decide who has home field in the World Series. Like it used to get the players engaged and have them actually care about it. And have like this year, a bunch of people backed out of it um, for various reasons. But it you need the best players there to attract more people and attract more eyes to it. And when you take that away, when you take the competitive spirit out of it, it kind of ruins it, and you just turn into just another pickup game that nobody wants to be there. Even the players don't want to be there.
Yeah. Um, Something that kind of annoys me with the NHL when it comes to the All Star game or All Star break is if somebody is voted in and they're not injured but they opt out, they get suspended for a game or two.
Do they?
Yeah,
I didn't
Alexander
know that.
Ovechkin voted out last year, or voted not to, or opted out last year, and he got suspended for 1 or 2 games
Hmm.
because he would rather take a break for, excuse me, take a break for the second half
At
and
that
get
point, he
get
gets
ready
an
for
even
the
longer
second half.
break.
Yeah, I mean it hurts his team for a game or two, but then he comes back much more
It
refreshed
must
than
be a game. I don't think they would do two. I think it must be a game.
it. It could be. I don't know.
Two seems harsh.
Even one seems harsh. Like it's an all-star thing. It's supposed to be for fun, and yet you're
They
suspending
they
them
should be
because that.
fined.
I don't even think they should be fined. It's an all-star. Like if you choose to opt out of it, like go ahead, but like
Yeah, but then it loses money for the league because then they lose more money when they negotiate the TV deals and stuff like that. That's why they care.
yeah, but all the sports broadcasts and everything and the head guys in the sports are billionaires, dude. I think they can,
Not the broadcasters.
well, not the broadcasters, but like the head
I'm just
people
saying.
and like Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner. Yeah, they're billionaires, dude. I think they can afford to lose $1 million
Here's
to allow some dude to rest.
Yeah, but you have to look at it this way. His job is to get the most money for the league. And if Ovechkin is not at the All-Star game, he's not getting the most money from the league.
That man in general is not getting the most money for the league.
That is true, but that is a topic for another day.
I think he's awful.
Um, in the MLB, sticking with the MLB topic, I think Rob Manfred. I mean, speaking about a commissioner that doesn't have any clue what he's doing, he is actually doing something right and considering banning a bunch of things and removing some rules that he put in place over his tenure. One of them is banning the shift that they are considering, and I think that could be a huge topic for debate because then you have the old time baseball people against the new baseball people and the analytics and everything like that. He also wants to eliminate the 7-inning doubleheaders, which is something we'll get into. Removing the runner on second base in extra innings, and he's trying to quote restore to baseball's roots for 2022.
I
Pat,
mean,
what are your opinions on each of these rules?
I understand where he's coming from when he says he wants to restore baseball's roots, but I actually have to disagree with a lot of his points. Like when it comes to the shift, that's just the baseball team adjusting to make better defense for better defense. The player can always hit on the opposite direction where the players don't shift. Like I don't understand why banning that shift is such a bad idea or is such a good idea because like ju- the player has to adjust. The hitter has to adjust. They can't just complain and whine that they can't hit the ball because they can't adjust to hit it the opposite direction that they usually do.
I agree.
Where
I
there's
agree with that.
exactly where there's wide open field. Like adjust and hit it over there instead of whining complaining that people are shifting to where they hit. Like that's just good defense.
It's like when the entire infield's on the right side for a lefty and the lefty doesn't decide the bunt. Like you have the entire left side of the pitcher's mound to put a bunt down. Like it doesn't need to be picture perfect.
Exactly.
Just put the ball on the ground, and then you're most likely going to be safe at first.
Like if you can't adjust, that's on you at that point. Like
Now I
they
have to.
shouldn't have to ban an entire defensive play because of that.
I'm going to um, speak for like from where the leak is coming from, in which they want more offense, which would then lead to more runs, more eyes on the sport, more people watching it, more people wanting to buy tickets, and they see it as they don't with the shift. There's less, runners on the bases, which then takes away hits, and it could then you know put more runs up on the board, and it would add more excitement to the game if they took away the shift.
All right, fine. The next time we play wiffle ball, you're not allowed to go stand on your porch.
It's the same thing that I do. Like you would have so many more hits in wiffle ball if I didn't stand right where you hit it every single time. Wouldn't you want me to not be able to do that?
As a hitter, yes, but for the sport of the game, I understand that you're playing good defense. So shift all you want. You're playing good defense. It's where I hit that when it comes. That's when it comes down to me to adjust and hit it the opposite direction to get myself on base.
I don't know. I still like I like the shift. I like not using the shift. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I don't really know what I want.
Your dad wants to ban the shift. I'm completely
Yeah,
opposite
his
of
his
him. I'm sure
his
him and I will
idea
argue about it later on.
his idea is they can move around. So like he wants two people on each side of second base. So like he wants them to be able to move. So like if they want to do like the shortstop moves more left because the guy pulls the ball, he wants them to be able to still move, but he still just wants two people on each side of second base, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, It does. I understand where he's coming from, but also at the same time, I still think the shift is just a good defensive play. Like I've been a defensive player my whole life, so seeing that, oh gosh, seeing that,
Right.
seeing that shift is just a good defensive play to me.
Yeah.
And that then it just comes down to the hitter to hit it the opposite direction of the shift, and you got
You
all
know,
that wide open space over there.
the shift has gotten so good now. Like players have index cards in their back pockets to like, oh, this player's coming up the bat. I'm gonna move 3 steps this way, or I'm gonna go all the way across the diamond and stand in shallow right field. And then it goes even further to where then the catcher calls pitches uh to hit into the shift. So like, you know, they're gonna throw it more inside so that he jams himself or rolls over and plays into the shift. Or, if it's a lefty, they're gonna throw him inside so that he pulls the ball right into the shift. Like they just have it down to a science now, and it's gotten kind of overboard.
I still think they just need to adjust.
It ruined Ryan Howard's career at the end.
I honestly think Ryan Howard ruined his own career at the end.
Well, his Achilles ruined his career, but carry
Yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly. Like
Thing ruptured more than I don't even know.
that, you make sure you have the words in your head before you speak them.
I know. Usually I'm very good at coming up with those things on the spot, but
Well, as soon as you go live,
I know everything changes.
yeah,
Everything changes.
every time. But no,
All right.
I don't think they should ban the shift.
Okay. So we have
So
our opinions on that.
the next one is the doubleheader seventh inning.
Yeah, so
I think
last
that's a
year
good one too that they should keep.
eliminating 7 inning doubleheaders because 7 inning doubleheaders are what college players do, and this isn't college. We play 9 inning baseball games, and you're either gonna like it or not, and it's just how it's supposed to be played. Simple as that. 9 innings
Yeah, but when
because
they're double headers, getting rid of those 4 innings doesn't put as much wear and tear on all the players.
it doesn't matter though. They're professional baseball players. This is their job.
Yeah, and you want them to stay in their job for as long as possible. So if you have the seventh inning double headers, there's less wear and tear on the players. They can stay an extra year or two.
But
Bam.
when people throw a no hitter, people laugh at it and say, "Oh, it's not a real no hitter," or like everybody has, if you throw a shutout, not a real shutout because you still didn't play the eighth and ninth inning.
Let them make fun of it then. Let them.
The 7 inning doubleheaders are so dumb. This isn't college. We don't have
Okay.
class in the morning. We have baseball games to play.
Yeah, and they can consist of seventh inning or 7 inning double headers to save your players.
No,
All right, so you'd rather see Bryce Harper get hurt for 20 games because he played 18 innings
I don't.
instead
I
of
don't have
14?
to. He'll. I don't have to. He'll be dehydrated.
That's true.
I mean, I just.
You'd rather see Zach Wheeler be injured because instead of playing, well, I mean, he's a pitcher, so he'd only play one game, but JT, the catcher, whatever his last name is, you'd rather see him injured for 20 plus games
He's
because
not
he
going to
played.
catch both games. He's not going to catch both games. You're going to have Andrew Knapp catch the second game or the first game. They rotate because it shows that you have depth.
Okay, there you go. Saving the players because now they're playing less innings.
No, you have to show that you are able to withstand it. Now they do have a rule where you can bring on an extra pitcher for a doubleheader, which I like. Okay, let's just play 9 innings. This is professional baseball. Let's stop being babies and worrying about our arms and just play.
All right. I'd rather save the players, but
Yes,
okay.
it's been that way for 150 years. 9 innings.
I'll stick with soccer. I'd rather complain about the people diving too much in soccer than worry about everybody complaining that
Okay, Pat,
seven
here we go.
seven innings is too little.
I'm gonna put this in your terms. If you had
Okay.
to play 2 soccer games in one day,
Okay.
or I mean, soccer games, people can't play 2 games in a week, right?
No, I can.
Okay. It rarely ever happens, but if they had to play 2 games in a day, it's like saying you're only gonna play 65 minutes of the 90.
I mean, they'd probably do 75 minutes, but go on.
Okay, they play 75 minutes
Okay.
instead of the 90.
Yeah, save the
Now,
players.
if you're just playing rec league, by all means, play 75 minutes. The guys are probably gonna pass out anyway. But when you're a professional and you get paid to do this, and wouldn't you, as a fan, want to play 90 minutes and see
Uh,
like your team's down one, game ends at 75-minute mark.
you
You
guys are
don't
gonna
think that
hate
that
me.
team can score in 15 minutes?
No, I think they can. I'm sure they can.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'd rather take a loss and save my players for another more important match coming up than I would with playing having them play a full 180 minutes and having that much wear and tear on their bodies.
You're crazy.
I'm just saying
You are crazy. All
because
right.
especially if it's in the playoffs and you have a doubleheader where they actually do go into overtime and stuff. If it was 75-minute games with the overtime or and then overtime after that, plus another
Yeah.
game after that, yeah, that's a lot on the players.
Okay. Suck it up. You're getting paid to play soccer.
Fans should suck it up too. Let the guys rest. They're human. Don't don't force them to overwork themselves just because they're getting paid to do it.
But they're getting
Like
paid
John,
millions.
if it was up to you, would you rather work a 40-hour week or a 50-hour week?
Well, if my job says 40, it's 40.
Okay, their jobs say they have 7 inning
Their jobs say that
doubleheaders,
they play a 90-minute soccer game or a 9-inning baseball game.
except for doubleheaders where it's 7 innings. It saves the players, dude. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking out for the players. You're looking out for the entertainment aspect, which honestly in baseball for me is going way downhill. Because that's something they should implement a freaking time clock for the pitchers and batters. Because I'm tired of sitting there waiting 5 minutes for them to throw a freaking ball.
Let me just redo my batting gloves real quick before I talk.
Exactly. You know exactly where I'm coming from for that one.
Let's spit. Let's look at the third base coach like we're actually going to look at the signs. Yeah, he's telling me to bunt. Yeah, we're not going to bunt.
They 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 just take way too long. That's what's killing it for me. They take too long. It's
Okay.
not the 7 inning doubleheaders or the shift or anything like that. It's the players taking way too freaking long to throw the dang ball because they want to throw each other off their groove.
Now, another
Like,
rule
come on, I ain't got all day.
has been put in place or that was put in place last year was the runner on second base in the extra innings rule. Which, Patrick, do you have an opinion on this? Because I have mine.
I mean, I honestly think it shouldn't be there. Like if they got out the previous inning, they're out. They shouldn't be put on second base, but
That baffles me because you just went into this whole thing of preserving the players. And this runner on second base rule preserves the players.
how?
Because with the runner on second base, there's more of a chance for them to score, which then the game would end in the 10th inning or the 11th inning. And if they don't, have their runner on second base, this game could go on for 16 or 17 innings, and then all of a sudden you're seeing two position players pitch because you ran out of pitchers, and then they got to
So
pitch the next day.
so only one team gets the second base, gets the person on second base.
No, each team gets it.
Both teams have the same amount of opportunity to score.
Okay,
They
let me
they
put it
can
to you
they
this
can
way.
they can still score the same amount. It doesn't matter if they're on if both teams have the person on second base or not. They both still have the same exact opportunity to score. If both teams score 1 point each inning, it can still go on for 16, 17 innings.
But that's the thing. It's not. They're not going to
How do you know?
because that's it. The rule's been in place for two years now. I don't think there's been
Okay, how often do
a
you
game
see
over 13 innings in the last 2 years.
how often do you usually see games go over 13 innings anyway?
Mm, Probably 10 times a year, eight
Yeah,
times a year, maybe.
that's not that much. Out of the 100 some games that they play, that's not that much.
But it still affects them for the next week because then pitchers are recovering. You know, I would have thought that you would have been all over this one.
No.
You being the player safety manager that you are.
I mean, at with the people on second base, both teams still have the same amount of opportunities to score. It can still go on forever.
It it brings more of a strategy into it too. Because there's so many different options that you can do. You can have the runner try and steal third. You can try and bunt him over to third, and then you would have him at third with one out, and then hopefully a sac fly scores him. You could leave him there. You could, um, a sac fly could move him to third.
Hello, loving. Oh wow. Okay, loving that 59. Okay, how
Is
are you?
that a
We
bot?
no, that's an actual person.
Oh, all right.
I'm doing well. John is getting heated with me.
We're getting annoyed because it's gobbledygook that Patrick was to protect players and this rule protects players, and he's not all for it. Baffles my mind.
Because it gives you the same amount of opportunity to score for both teams. It can still go on forever. Just because it
But it
hasn't yet
doesn't.
doesn't just because it hasn't yet doesn't mean it won't. It can
There's
still
always going to
happen.
be an outlier.
Yeah, there are 8 outliers a season when it comes to games over
And
13 innings.
there hasn't been one since this rule's been implemented.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. They still have the same amount of opportunity to score no matter what.
Whatever.
Just because it's a little lower without the person being on second base doesn't mean
Okay, so just to go over this again. Runner on second rule were split. 7 inning doubleheaders were split. And banning the shift were split.
yep.
All right, just making sure.
Yep. Stop complaining, people. That's all I got for it. Just stop complaining.
Ugh, frustrating.
You've known me for basically your whole life. You should know how frustrating I can be. You're welcome. Not as frustrating as Rocket League last night, but that's for
That
tomorrow.
was brutal. That was brutal.
That's for tomorrow.
Um,
Next topic. We're
well, the
definitely going to be
next,
putting some polls on these this
yeah,
week coming up.
yeah.
Next topic.
Next topic would just be previewing the Olympics. I mean, we're gonna have more for you next week because it starts July 23rd and it ends August 8th. And we actually have a little announcement because we will be doing this podcast next Friday, actually Friday 23rd, July 23rd, the day that
That is
the
true.
actually wait, that says 2020. Timeout.
No, it's Friday the 23rd.
Oh, says Summer Olympics 2020. Oh, okay.
Probably because it was supposed to be in 2020, but with
Yeah.
COVID, it got pushed to 2021. Just like
Okay.
the the Euro was 2020.
Yeah. Okay. So July 23rd, we will be doing a podcast, possibly Wednesday, for the
Expansion draft.
expansion draft. Definitely will be on Twitter, but our show, instead of it being Saturday, will be Friday because I will be on vacation. So look out for that. We'll also send out a tweet to remind you. And
I
let's
will
get to the
also
locks of the week.
I will also post a poll on Twitter because I will be staying at John's house the whole time he's on vacation, and we will see if people want me to mess John's room up more than it already is.
I I won't be here that much longer. Let's get to the locks of the week. Bring up that screen.
All right. This one. All right, we got locks of the week. I have not looked at any type of score for this or any type of sport for this. So I have no idea what I will be looking for. I'm sure I'm going to have an MLS one or two in there, but oh,
All right.
MLS is actually back today. New England Revolution won 1-0 against Atlanta. And
You go first.
Red Bulls in Miami have been postponed. Oh, actually, decent amount of games have been played. I go first.
You went 3-0.
Oh, here we go. They still have some of the Gold Cup. So I'm going to do another Gold Cup one because I'm doing really good in that. You know, shifting over to the Gold Cup. Great defensive strategy on my part to preserve some points. I'm going to say USA will beat Canada tomorrow. Um, Great defensive strategy on my part, I hope. But we'll see if Canada hits it in the opposite field, you know, and adjusts and beats USA. We will see. I can feel John rolling his eyes at me right now.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
What else?
there's not really any like college sport going on. The only other sport I
Nope.
know of is
College
baseball,
is done.
and then the
We still have the
NBA
NBA
finals,
finals.
where it looks like the Bucks are winning today. So
You could do, Pat, you could even do like, the Flyers will protect you, or like, the Seattle Kraken will choose Carey Price or something like that. I mean,
no, I'm doing games.
okay.
I'm saying Bucks beat the Suns in Game 6. That
All
one's
right.
really risky.
Well, they're up 6 right now, the Bucks,
Yeah,
with
because the
5 minutes left.
that might be a do or die game for the Suns.
Yes.
And then I'm going to MLS again because I only know soccer really. And I'm going to say Seattle will beat Austin. Bam. Those are my three
Okay.
picks. John? And don't pick the game that's already going on right now.
Nope, nope. I am going with Louis Oosthuizen to win the Open. Yes, that's golf.
Golf who?
Louis. So type
LUI?
Lewis. Type Lewis.
Lewis.
Got it.
Lewis wins Open.
Oosthuizen. OOSTH.
Oh, are you spelling the last name?
UIZ. Yeah.
OOSTHUIZ.
UIZEN.
Louis Oosthuizen.
Oosthuizen wins the Open. You got to put the Open.
I did.
No, you put wins Open. It's the Open. Thank you. A Open. No, come on. This is tradition. Whatever. I'm gonna go and change that. I'm gonna go with Game 6. Suns beat the Bucks in Game 6. Some Open. Dang.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with. Hold on. I'm looking up because you have like some Olympic games before the actual Olympics. I'm gonna go with trying to see if there's a game. Can't tell.
You're gonna start making me yawn if you don't hurry up.
No, I'm so sorry. I guess I'm just gonna have to go with like a baseball. I'm gonna go with the sorry. We're gonna go for Monday.
I was gonna say, does anybody have the Jeopardy theme song right now?
Monday, I'm gonna choose the Los Angeles Dodgers to beat the San Francisco Giants.
All right. There are our new locks of the week. We will actually switch this to the 23rd. For week 4. And then week 5, we'll probably have to adjust that too because you get back that Saturday, right?
I get back that Sunday, I believe.
Ooh, that Sunday. Okay.
So
yeah.
I mean, I'll be back during the day, so I can do that Sunday.
So there
Night.
might only be 4 locks this week or this month when there were supposed to be 5. Because for some odd reason, John used to go on vacation.
I need a vacation.
No,
Thank
you
you very
don't.
much.
No, you don't. You need to keep
Yes, I
working.
do. No, I don't.
You absolutely need to keep working. I'm putting you on the standards of our professionals. You need to work. And only
I've
work.
been working.
And only work. Until you retire.
Screw that.
You're not allowed to take vacations. I know I'm being hard on you. Just like 75% of
Screw.
Twitter says.
Yeah.
But you need to only work.
Whatever you say, kind sir.
All right. Now that you got our pretty faces back, I will go and start typing in our commands again. John,
Commands.
yeah.
Yeah, so that'll wrap up episode 6. We dove into a lot of different topics. And
John got
just
pissed
want
at
to
me a few times.
that's all right. That's the whole point of the show.
Absolutely.
we just want to remind you to go follow our Twitter page at JP Sports Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, JP Sports Podcast. And if you are watching us on Twitch, you found us, drop us a follow, J and P Sports Podcast, and then join our Discord channel. DM us for the link. We still have to tweet that out, which we need to do. Look, we're going to be very active on Twitter this week. We need to send out polls, especially on the MLB rules, because Patrick and I are both split, and we're gonna take a show stand,
I'll send
and we're
that.
gonna be like,
Sorry, I'll send that Discord link out after I get the YouTube video up
yeah,
and running
well,
tomorrow.
we're gonna take an official stand here on the JMP Sports Podcast. We're either going to be pro runner on second base rule or con, right? That's the other word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to add one more thing. I think the shootout is dumb in soccer when it
Jeez.
comes to the championship rounds. I think it's dumb in hockey, but hockey does it right where they they change it for the playoffs, which is okay. I like that. But
Well,
to have the Euro championship or that whole Euro tournament end in a shootout and penalty kicks is the dumbest thing ever.
I mean
Just my
that
2
that
cents
puts a
on it.
lot of pressure on the players, and it really
Okay,
excites the
but
fans.
those players probably aren't playing another game for another month. They can rest up during that. Or put your subs
That
in.
has nothing to do with resting the players. That's just. Oh, here we go. That's soccer's roots. That's how the playoffs have always been played.
Soccer has some dumb roots.
So does baseball. Get over it. That's what I've done.
You haven't gotten over it though.
I know soccer
Because
has dumb
you won't
roots.
agree with this. You won't agree with the banning the 7-inning doubleheaders.
I think it saves the players.
Okay. You're gonna have to go back in this episode and watch that if you haven't already. Discord channel, that'll be up tomorrow.
The link.
I believe in the afternoon. After YouTube this show's uploaded to the YouTube channel. And yeah, Pat, you got anything else to say?
Pro 7-inning doubleheaders.
Everybody at this point, just turn away from your camera screens. I'm just gonna tell Patrick's number 1 real quick. Thank you very much. And
I really hope your dad
that
was
concludes
watching.
this episode. He probably did it behind his screen too. That concludes this episode. We will see you guys next week. And remember, live show will be this Friday, July 23rd. And go tell your friends about us. We want to join together. And if you want to be a guest on our show, by all means, DM us on Twitter, or leave a comment on our YouTube channel and get in contact with us because we would love to chat with you.
Definitely keep an eye out on Twitter for Wednesday as well if we go live for the expansion draft.
Yes.
So
and if we don't, check Twitter.
I'm sure one of us will be posting constantly because I
Put
know
put
I have
our
off.
yeah
Wednesday
put our
night.
notifications on and our tweet notifications and be alert.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
If we don't see you Wednesday, we'll see you Friday. Stay safe.
Exactly.
Stay hydrated.
Peace
It's
out.
been hot out there. Peace.
Peace out.
Zombie apocalypse.